Hi, my name is Rae'Miah James. I am doing the video of Parkinson's disease and the effects of the medication carbidopa. What is Parkinson's disease? Parkinson's disease is a neurological progressive disorder which it affects the nervous system and parts of the body that is controlled by the nerves. For example, you will start having symptoms such as a small tremor with stiffness and or it can be slowing of the movement. Symptoms and causes of Parkinson's. Um, Symptoms of Parkinson's is you will have tremor, slow movement, aka bradykinesia, rigid muscles, impaired posture, balance, loss of automatic movement such as winking, waving, just moving your arm. Speech changes, so it could be slurred speech, and writing changes, as in you're not able to hold your pencil upright, or you're just not able to write straight anymore. Um, what is caused what causes this disease? This disease is caused by the breaking down of neurons in your brain, which they're either breaking down or they're dying slowly. Now, the neurons play an important part because they produce a chemical messenger called dopamine. We need dopamine to regulate our brain activity, and it helps with our movement. So when we have this problem with the dopamine, it's creating low dopamine instead of the amount that we need, which is giving us irregular brain activity and movement problems. Um, in the brain, when you see or when you're when you're diagnosed with Parkinson's, some things that people also notice is the presence of Lewy bodies and and Lewy bodies and alpha synuclein or Lewy bodies. All right. Now, the Lewy bodies are basically clumps of specific substances within your brain cells, and are microscopic markers of Parkinson's disease. So this is how they could tell. These Lewy bodies are basically an important clue to Parkinson's disease. The alpha synuclein found within Lewy bodies is the scientists believe that this is a natural widespread protein, and it's found in all of the Lewy bodies in this clump, in a clump form that cells cannot break down. So this is a very important point for Parkinson's disease and like in the research. Um, they also have found even spinal fluid, the alpha synuclein in people's spinal fluid who later developed Parkinson's disease. What is carbidopa? Carbidopa is a medication that treats Parkinson's disease. It's increased the amount of dopamine in your brain and helping with body movements and coordination and reduce stiffness and tremors. This type of medication is a decarboxylase inhibitor added with levodopa, decreasing the conversion of L-dopa to dopamine. The mechanism of how all this works is basically carbidopa binds to PLP, which is peroxidyl 5-phosphate, which inhibits the one aromatic amino acid decarboxylase, AADC for short, which is PLP dependent. Since carbidopa cannot cross the blood-brain barrier, it can only act peripherally. So that's why you have levodopa, because it can't cross the blood-brain barrier. So these two work with each other. The decrease of levodopa means more L-dopa taken up by the central nervous system, which reduced the need about 75%. This can also reduce the GI absorption, which when you will get no excess dopamine, it could decrease the side effects of like nausea and vomiting. The process of X-ray crystallography, which is basically a purified sample at high concentrations, which is crystallized, in which the crystals are exposed to an X-ray beam. This X-ray beam will then give you different patterns or diffraction. It will diffract the light, which then process the crystals giving you symmetry in the size of repeating units, which forms the crystal. Now, the structure of carbidopa, I do have a figure here, but you won't be able to see it. I have a PowerPoint. It's going to talk about it, which is just a structure that, I have the structure that was taken from the protein data bank, and basically the structure just showing you carbidopa bounded. You have the carbidopa, which is blue, is bounded to dopamine, dopa carboxylase, which is the orange and green ligands, forming the protein that you'll eventually see.